I've been visiting Thailand for more than a couple of decades, and I relocated several years ago. This may be a blinding glimpse of the obvious, but there is a profound difference between coming to Thailand for a holiday and making Thailand home. When vacationing, you're focused on having as much fun as time and your budget allows. When you move here, there's still much to enjoy, but there's also the routines of everyday life, like negotiating with landlords, getting prescriptions filled, applying for a driving license, and a host of other tasks that often require coming up a pretty steep learning curve. As I settled in, I wish I had someone help me understand how things really work in Thailand. It may have saved me from some of the many mistakes I made that cost me time, money, and more than a bit of embarrassment. Sure, things got easier over time, but in this video, I'm going to give you the 3 insights I wish I knew from the outset, in the hope that you will be able to more quickly adjust to life in this amazing country. So let's jump in. First, how you go about things here really matters. Smile, be patient and polite, and try to speak a bit of Thai, and you'll get back that positivity along with a Pud Thai Geng, you speak Thai so well. I also learned that the opposite is true. Exhibit impatience, exasperation, or worse yet, anger, and whatever you're trying to accomplish will get sidetracked. My favorite nonverbal example of this is horn honking. In Mumbai or New York or Cairo, it's the driver's language of choice. In Thailand, a horn honk in frustration will prompt the car in front of you to slow to a glacial pace, communicating very clearly what they thought of your impatience. That's why when you walk along the busiest streets in Bangkok, such as Sukhumvit, you rarely hear a car horn. Now, in America and many Western countries, communication is mainly about achieving an end result. There are no points awarded for style so long as the intended outcome was achieved. However, that type of directness can be perceived very differently here. There's a central tenet of Thai social and cultural life called kreng jai, meaning considerate heart. In essence, it is to be deeply respectful of the other person's feelings and to strive to never embarrass or burden them. And this applies to every interaction, whether it's the waiter at the restaurant that brings you the wrong dish, the neighbor playing loud music, the police officer pulling you over for a traffic infraction, or applying at the Department of Land Transport for your driving license. All of these interactions can be stressful, but it is expected and a sign of emotional intelligence to keep smiling to get through the interaction as courteously as possible, even if this means eating a dish you didn't really order. This may take some adjustment for a Westerner to see this as a win-win scenario, but I'd encourage you to think of it like this. The restaurant staff saves face and you get to try a new dish. What this has meant for me is getting into the habit of checking my energy and intentions whenever beginning an interaction. It's an opportunity to practice the Buddhist virtue of patience and to build my self-awareness muscle. Now, I'm quite a ways from becoming an enlightened being, but over the years, I am getting better at this. And as a result, communications and relations with Thai folks that I see every day have become more productive, but also more enjoyable. Hey, if you're finding this helpful, please support our channel by clicking on those like and subscribe buttons so we can continue to offer immigration and expat updates. Now, the second lesson is the importance of the group over the individual, and this starts with family. In America, family interactions are typically about birthdays and other important milestones or visits during the holidays. Parents don't usually intercede in their adult children's decision-making. Here, things are quite different. When marrying a Thai, you are also becoming a part of the family. And in Thai families, the parent's perspective is the last word. There is no hesitation in not only offering advice, but influencing decisions on where to work and live. There is also an expectation of support from their children, not necessarily limited to monetary help, but also assistance with health care and other needs. For instance, my Thai language instructor lives about 400 kilometers from her hometown. However, if mom and dad have an issue of any kind, she'll drive several hours and stay with them for days or weeks and even months until the issue is resolved. Does she miss her independence in the home she chose? Of course. But as she and many others have related to me, there is no choice. And this importance of family and group extends beyond the biological to the workplace, village, and even service providers with whom you regularly engage. One of the most treasured perks of a job in my company is not about compensation, but company trips, where the team gets to spend a few days together, strengthening bonds beyond the office. And some of my staff call my wife Meh, or mom. So for me, it was shedding the Western notion that individual freedoms, choices, and rights come first, and coming into situations at home and at work with a better understanding of the deep relational nature of Thai culture. Third and finally, land has an intrinsic value here that is different than the way I think about my residence or other property in the U.S. There, land ownership is a way to build wealth, and selling the family home and moving to a retirement community is a pretty common story. Here, and especially in rural provinces, land represents a family's stature and is that family's domain. It's why families hold on to ownership and are unwilling to sell land, even if it's not being put to any productive use. I learned this lesson when thinking I could simply offer a premium for adjacent lots in the rural village where we built our home, only to discover owners unwilling to part with their family's land-owning heritage. Only when we were approached by someone who had made the decision to sell, and this is frequently a family, not an individual decision, is a deal even possible. This value placed on land also means that ownership is a privilege reserved to Thai nationals. As an expat, you can buy condos or you can have a long-term lease, but simply purchasing a deed to underlying property is not lawful, and you may want to get additional advice if someone is counseling otherwise. Over the years, I've learned lots of other lessons through trial and error and through my firm's work in helping hundreds of expats settle in here. If you're interested in doing a deeper dive into making Thailand home, I've included a link below to my book that I hope will help you make more informed decisions and peek around some of the corners that are unique to Thai customs and culture. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, please click that subscribe button.